Hi chat, hi Forgotten Hope community, hi everyone. Ooh, what is that? Wow. Ooh, what are you teasing with? Oh, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
Did they actually have it? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about World 2 anymore. I thought Silos weren't like that populated thing that. Alright, so, well.
Yes, they already had that. So yeah, one thing that is also new is it's Joe, me, and also Flippy Warbear who
Yes.
will look at his map with us.
Hello.
But first of all, we are of course on Studienka. Oh yeah, hello. But first of all, we are of course. I only have 1000 ping anymore. Nice. But first of all, we are of course on Studienka, which most of you probably know because it's an old map that we already released. The reason we are on here is that before we show the two completely new maps, we want to show several new things on this map. And before we look at the actual content, we will look at some completely new systems and assets we have. First of all, Fetcho, if you would be so kind as to bring up the spawn menu.
Yeps. Here we go.
So there's already something you can see here, which is that there's new high quality icons for all the spawning kits with new symbols for rifleman, submachine gunner, and so on. In the last patch, what we did is we introduced new fonts that were more high quality and pop out a bit more, and so we are now slowly expanding that to the other icons as well. So that's one of the next steps here. This was done by Eat Uranium.
Nice, good job, Will.
So there's that. What we also have is please prone and crawl forward a bit. So as you can see, there's now proning animations for your weapons. So you, instead of the weapon just floating in front of you, actually crawl across the ground with new animations, and this works for every single weapon. So if you switch to your knife or the grenade or your bandage or whatever, it's there for everything. So as you can imagine, there was a huge amount of work, like massive amount of work. That was done, if I remember correctly, by Rustic and Harmonicata. Am I right in that, Flippy? Do you remember?
Correct.
Correct. These two did that. Yeah. And now imagine how many weapons there are in FH2, and I don't mean just the rifles or just the pistols. All the weapons, your binoculars, your bandages,
weapon
grenades,
and equipment. Yeah.
Yeah, the mine detector that nobody uses. All these had to be updated.
Oh man.
With these new animations. Now I think Rustic and Harmonicata, they had some kind of system that they figured out that allowed them to set up like a template for each type of weapon, but they still had to adjust, the details for each of them. So that was really a huge amount of work.
Their hard work is recognized.
Yeah. So that's kind of the next step, because last time we introduced a bunch of new weapon animations in third person, like the one-handed sprint for the German rifle and stuff like that. And now there's also new first-person animations. Now, in addition to that, there was a big sound overhaul where we also can show some on this map. This was done mostly by Jan Kurator. And affects both hand weapons and tanks. You know what, let's start with the tanks. There's a lot of new tank engine sounds which were made from actual recordings of these tanks. If you go, for example, into the T-34.
Ooh.
Yeah. Completely new engine sound here.
Yeah, that sounds great, actually.
And this is the case with not all of the tanks, but with many of the new tanks where we could actually find engine sounds. Also, if you would, you know what, go into one and show it in first person for a few minutes or seconds.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of new stuff like that. And we will look at some more or listen to some more a bit later. Now there's also new hand weapon sounds as well as animations. Now if you would kill yourself and spawn with one of these submachine guns,
Wow,
for example.
okay, that
Again,
that's just rude, you know. But sure, I'll do it.
Okay, I will kill you.
Do I forgive the team killer? Sure. So, what do you want me to spawn as?
One of the submachine guns. I think they were both updated. We can't, of course, show all the new weapons, just sampling, you know,
Yeah.
sampling of the new sounds.
Both the SMGs have the new sounds.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, so if you shoot with that, so these were also done by Jan Kurator. Especially Soviet weapons have been updated. Another thing that you might notice, although, well, Joe probably not quite as much because you haven't played recently, but the recoil settings have all been adjusted here, which to the fact that the recoil is, the guns are still as accurate as before, but the recoil is more randomized, so it's not as easy to just keep on target with one spray and pray stream of bullets. So you have to be a bit more tactical about it now.
I remember this. Yeah.
By that. Yeah.
Okay.
So that will also be in the next patch. So
Now if you take my kit,
Yeah.
and go through, you've
go
got
to
something.
the pistol. To the pistol.
Ah, yes.
Now that's a completely new pistol, a Nagant revolver with a Bramit suppressor. While you reload, you can already answer some questions because they take years.
Yeah, I'm experiencing that right now. I love the animations though.
Yeah, it's great. Generally speaking, we will talk about the silenced weapons a bit later. Just I want to sum up so far what we have shown. There will be new icons, completely new prone animations for all the weapons, and overhauled sound and animations for several vehicles and weapons. So now let's go over the new stuff. So you already have the silenced revolver.
Yep.
And we also have a silenced rifle.
Oh man.
So pick that up for a sec.
Wow.
We're Russian.
You startled me there. Jesus. Alright.
Yeah, my rifle not as silent.
No. Oh wow, that's amazing.
Note that this one is not scoped, that it has the simple reason because the silence, like if you don't, or if you shoot a normal rifle bullet, even if the rifle is somehow silenced, the supersonic crack will completely ruin the effect. So it uses special ammunition that is subsonic.
Yeah.
That has like it drops down really fast, even faster than like an SMG bullet, and it also does slightly less damage. But of course you're sneaky with it. You can't easily be hurt, especially at longer range. The sound completely disappears. So yeah, generally speaking, we introduced that on this map because the Russians did use these silent weapons. For one thing, they dropped these to partisans, but they also use them sometimes in forward detachments. And what they would do, if you would follow me, what they would do is often in front of their advance, they would have captured German vehicles like this half-track here.
Wow.
And sometimes even use pieces of German clothing, and then this way they could, in a chaotic situation, could trick retreating Germans, for example, into thinking, oh, they're harmless. So in the future on this map, you can take this half-track, take one of the pickup kits here next to the truck. They either have captured German weapons, or one captured German weapon and then also silenced weapons in addition to that.
Nice.
In the kit you have, or no, you don't have it anymore, but you can
this one.
also show the MP40 because that has completely new animations as well. So yeah, that's another thing where we added completely new animations to a bunch of weapons. The sound is the same still though.
Nice. Looks good.
So yeah, but that's not all that is new on this map. First of all, somebody already or said in the chat that the Russians now have blue pants. That's only on this map, because it turns out we actually found original Russian documents about this battle that we didn't have before, and because of that, we made some changes to the map, or rather we added new content to the map. And one are these player models, which are actually cavalry. So part of the Russian force here was cavalry, and they had these blue jeans.
And they fought in this battle.
So they had these. Yeah, they fought in this battle. Note that when I say cavalry, it wasn't so much like they didn't ride into battle. It was a cavalry mechanized group, so they didn't really have that many horses. But yeah. What we also found is that the 29th Tank Corps that the cavalry was supporting, now first of all, we gave the tanks on this map the markings that this unit used, so these are new skins, not really a big difference, but they also had some Valentine tanks that they used to scout. Actually the cavalry had these as well. I think Flippy is already in it, also has a new engine sound.
Oh, nice.
Well, these are of course the Valentine tanks that before that you only knew from the Africa map. In fact, I'm pretty sure this might be the first time a new Valentine tank has been added to a map since like 2.0. The Russians were really fond of the Valentine tank. Because it was very reliable. For them, like for the British, it counted as like a heavy infantry support tank. For the Russians, it counted as a light tank in the war.
Your voice is kind of getting drowned out by the sound of the tank.
Yeah, okay, let's go a bit more far away. But yeah, to repeat what I said earlier, so for the Russians, it's counted as a light tank, even though it's technically a heavy infantry support tank in the British Army.
Right.
So yeah, that's new, and this was also one of the only units that was supported by American M10 tank destroyers in Russian service, which they used as Su-76 M10. So these we also added. That the Russian version doesn't have the teddy bear.
Sorry? Oh, does it?
The Russian version doesn't have the teddy bear.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm lagging.
So, so basically we have Soviet Soviet tanks, we have British, we have American, and we have German. The whole gang is here.
Mm-hmm.
We got everything here. This is the one map that can play with everything.
The Russians, as one nation. Of course, there's also Germans. Like the Russians can have tanks or vehicles from 4 nations on this.
Right. Yeah.
That is true. Of course, I mean the Studienka trucks are also originally American.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, this we were really